you know, this happens to me every day, but I want to document this, or I hate that word document. Like, it's not important that I say any of these things, but at dinner today, after I had an urge, I talk a lot about just about everything from space to everything, just all over the place. And it's been a while since I've mentioned anything about military, but out of nowhere earlier, I just picked up my phone and I was like, you know what? And I was like, God told me, brain, brow, and I talked about how, you should never salute somebody else because, you're covering your forehead. And, a big long thing about how if you really want to honor people, you honor the livingness that they have, respect them enough to let them live their lives the way they want to. And when you see things being done wrong, you try to stand up for what's right in the right way and not think that you're somebody who's going to be a hero who swoops in and saves the day by taking out the bad guys, rat-a-tat-tat, and listen to some people who act like they care about the world when they obviously don't. And then, so today I wrote this thing down at like 4:18, and I don't talk about stuff like that very often. In fact, I'm nothing but love. I talk about nothing but love, but something came to me at 4:18. So then after I get done recording and I go up, or I talked into my tape recorder, and after I got done putting it down, I was going to go up and put it on Facebook, but I have to be up by the house to do it. And I've had all this weird like transmission energy stuff going on where I can feel things from the house, and I can, I don't want to sound too weird, but, some weird stuff. I'm not even going to go into the deeper stuff. But I knew that my brother I knew that there was something was going to go on with that thing today. And as soon as I got in the house, I felt the energy. And then my dad started complaining about, the veterans and being in Vietnam and how he was beat as a child. And he signed up to get away from his parents and da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking, like, you haven't brought this up for how many years? And why did you do that just now? And then, and my brother Brian's there too. So he's saying like, fuck veterans, veterans ain't shit. And Brian, my dad is a veteran, but they've done nothing for him but like cancel his appointments and send him off to this place, send him off to that place. But don't you think that has a little bit to do with maybe his attitude and his discontent for people? And they can tell, even if he's happy and smiling, it seems a little over the wall or like a little overboard, fake happy, because deep down he's grumbly and he's unhappy about just about everything, and he's always looking for something wrong to fix, and if it's not something wrong to fix, he's just sort of jokey and goofy. And there's times where I know the difference, and I think it's awesome when he's that way, but if other people don't know him, they're not even going to take his happy side serious. But then if they don't know him, they're going to see either his happy unserious side or his grumpy side, so they're not going to take him serious. So they're either going to put him off because it's just some guy who comes in, he's all goofy, or some guy who is sort of crabby, and they're not going to go out of their way to bring him in, because he doesn't see other people as a priority of being in that experience that day. He went there and he talked to him. He might be like, have a great day and all that kind of stuff. And he's very kind-mannered, but it's more like somebody who was taught to be respectful to people, and he's trying to do the best he can compared to how he thinks. Now, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but this is my own dad, my own brother. I love him. And I would wish that they would listen to me, but they don't care enough about me to listen to what I'm saying. That's the weirdest thing, is I say that because I mean it. And if they were to hear me say, you don't care enough about me to listen to what I'm saying, they would say, I do too. I'm like, you've never listened to anything I say, so what's the reason for that? Because I care about you so much, I don't want to hear you lie to yourself. And I say, have you heard anything I said? If you listen to anything I said, you wouldn't think I was lying to myself, because I'm not lying to you. But for some reason, you love me so much you don't believe me, right? You love me so much that you maybe don't believe me, but don't believe me or love me enough to even check out what I'm saying. So who is the one in the wrong? Do you have anything you want me to look into that you've done that you need help with? What do you need in your life? What can I do for you to make your life better? That's what my answer would be. And they'd be like, well, and they don't care. They don't seem to care at all. And people think that just because they have a child that was born from them and that's their family member, that's some big deal. Well, let me switch over to another topic. This is a world where you used to have to visit your kids or talk to them on the phone and actually call them and sit in one spot and talk while you're on the phone. And you actually had to go and see them sometimes. But now it's like we don't even see our own kids, and your kid's just he's just a name in your timeline when you go through your Facebook scroll or you scroll through anything like that. Like, they're just a face now. They're just a face with a little green dot if they're online. If they're online, you might give them a couple smiley faces, a heart, and they're like, hello, hope you're doing good today. That's not showing that you love somebody. That's reminding them that, hey, I'm somebody that you're familiar with. How are you, familiar person? Oh, I'm good. They might ask you about one of your little topics. Hey, cool. But when you see what kind of problems we are really facing right now, like there's no reason to have all this little small talk. There's no reason to spend your time doing all that silly shit on fucking social media. There's no reason to spend your time watching TV. There's no reason spending your time, teaching fake education and fake shit. I mean, I can tell everybody where we're going wrong, and if they listen to me, they'd actually agree. But then the biggest problem is even when they do agree, they're too afraid to do anything about it. And when I say that, they'll get mad at me for saying it when they're afraid to do something about it. And all they have to do is, like, if you don't know what else to do about it, share what I'm saying with everyone you know. But you're afraid to do that because you don't want people to deny you and say, I don't want to hear that. At least try. How many people, if you said, hey, I believe in this guy, and I don't even believe in him, but he said that if I showed people this thing, it would help them, and I want to help you. So, and I love my brother, I just don't believe him, but I want to help him. So here, that would be to prove it, show me, not prove it, but show me that you actually care about yourself enough that when you say you love your family member, that you'll do something for the family member you say you love. If they ask you from their heart, will you do that for them? And anyone would be like, oh, I'd die for you. That doesn't even mean you love me. That's just one big addiction. Because it's easy for you to die and go out as a hero. But did you ever care about what I thought? Did you ever care about me in a true way? That's where weird love is drawn. People are just familiar with you. And hey, don't take this person I'm familiar with. I'm comfortable with them. Even though we might argue all the time. It's my little brother. And I'm comfortable with the arguments we have. But I don't listen to anything he says. So I'll stick up for him because I don't know how to actually be emotionally there for anybody. This is deep shit, but this is what everyone's doing. You could take a bullet for somebody that you don't love at all. They're just familiar with you. And if you didn't have them around, you would feel uncomfortable. So, and you don't know the other person, and you want to battle some demon. So if another person shows you a threat, then yeah, you can step in there and be the hero. That'll give you credit. It has nothing to do with caring about the life of the other person, because if you cared, you'd listen to what they say and what they're talking about and how they feel. That's how you show somebody you care. You don't find something that, bothers them and egg on it and just like get them angry. That's silly. Why would you do that? But people do it. They think it's picking on each other, and it's not. Because whether they go, ha ha ha, at this point, there's still a little part of them thinking like, yeah, they're making fun of this little part of me, but I can accept that. But you shouldn't accept something if it really hurts your feelings. You really shouldn't. There's no point. It makes no sense. You go through the rest of your life holding everything in at indices, and it'll build up, and you'll die. That's how it'll work. Either way, I love you. And until next time, peace.